Right guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't seen, I am mega excited about this Blood of Baal Psychic Awakening, and wow, Blood Angels are back. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it at the minute, but wow, I like this book a lot for Blood Angels. If you're interested in the Tyranid bit of it, go and check out the other video. I'm only talking about Blood Angels in this. So of course Mephiston went through the Rubicon Primaris, and he's now Primaris Marine. He got an extra attack and an extra wound, and he dropped in points to 145. Great. He was always good anyway. Then he went up and it was like, but to drop in points and get an extra attack and wound, that's pretty good. Now I'll be honest, I haven't read the fluff yet. I will be reading everything that's gone on in this. So I'm going to skip all of that because I don't know how to talk about it. So you do have, of course, your Theatres of War missions, which is very typical. Lots of one Tyranid mission versus the Blood Angels. However, there he is himself, the Lord of Death, and I cannot wait till that model comes out and paint him up. And I've got a reinvigoration of my Blood Angels after reading this book. Like, I am really excited about playing them again. So expect to see a lot more of them coming up on the channel. However, Inheritors of Rage, we've got some updated data sheets. You've got everything in here from Shadow Spear, so you've got all the Vanguard Warlord traits and the Psychic Powers as well. We get Litanies of Battle, which is fantastic. We get access to the special issue war gear, like what Space Marines do. And of course there's the Flesh Tearers stuff in here as well, which is nice that they've finally got something, because even running Flesh Tearers with the Blood Angel Codex was almost impossible. So there is a few abilities. Of course, the nicest one being that we actually get combat doctrines. Yes! Officially we've got the Angels of Death rule now, which means that everybody gets access to combat doctrines. Devastator, Tactical and Assault Doctrines as normal, everything that you'd expect. We've got the Bolt of Discipline and Shock Assault. So everything that all the other Marine chapters have already got, we now have. There's a few updated weapons, which we had via FAQ, but at least they are published now. So the Demolisher Cannon being D6, as Auto Bolt Rifles being 3, Flamestorm Cannons being range 12, Hand Flamers, of course, being D6, Icarus Rocket Pods being a flat 2 damage, Mastercrafted, Stalker Bolt Rifle being 2 damage now as well. Fantastic. Great. Chief Librarian Mephiston, nothing changed apart from he's got an extra wound and he's got an extra attack. That's good. He's still really good. Yeah, I would still take him. However, considering a Librarian Dreadnought is only 3 points less, I'd be very tempted to run both. I mean, Mephiston can get more attacks. He does have a 5-up ignore damage. The Librarian Dreadnought, it's still very touch and go, especially considering one of the new relics for the Librarian Dreadnoughts. So Astaroth stayed the same points. His rules remained exactly the same, apart from he's got Litanies of Hate, and he knows and can chant 2 litanies from the Space Marine Codex, but they're listed in here as well as the specific Blood Angel one. Still got Massive Doom as well, but if this litany is inspiring, you can reroll hit rolls, not failed hit rolls, so that's changed. Same as Lamartes, you can reroll the hit roll for Death Company, and he's now got Litanies of Hate, and he knows 2 of the litanies and can chant 1. So that's not too shabby. All of the other Chaplain War Scrolls have been updated with litanies. Lamartes also stayed the same point as well. And of course the Chaplain and the Primaris Chaplain gained them rules. Death Company Intercessors. I obviously painted up 10 ready to go for the battle report. They are basically intercessors. However, you can be equipped with Auto Bolt Rifles, or you can be equipped with Stalker Bolt Rifles. One model can be equipped with either one of the following in addition to their other weapons. So Chainsword, Power Fist, Power Sword, or Thunderhammer. Just like a Sergeant, but he's not a Sergeant. He doesn't have the extra attack. But he can also be equipped with one of the following instead of their Bolt Rifle. An Auto Bolt Rifle, a Stalker, one Chainsword, one Hand Flamer. A model cannot be equipped with 2 Chainswords. For every 5 models in this unit, one model that is equipped with one Bolt Rifle, Auto Bolt Rifle, or Stalker Bolt Rifle can have an auxiliary grenade launcher. And you can have up to 10 in the squad. They are elites, they're not troops. And I know a lot of people are disappointed about that, but there's a fair few stratagems that you can use to buff these guys. They're 18 points a model. Reavers drop to 16 points. Now, Reavers permanently have the +1 attack. Death Company only get the +1 when they charge. That's in addition, of course, to Shock Assault. And they've got the 6-up Feel No Pain. I don't know if that is worth it. I don't know if the difference is worth it. I mean, don't get me wrong, 2 Wound Death Company is fantastic. And the 6-up Feel No Pain really makes them stand out. But the fact that they've got access to a stratagem that makes them have a 5-up Feel No Pain makes them potentially more viable than, I think, in this, Reavers. Yes, Reavers have a heavy bolt pistol and the combat knife to give them the extra attack. They can shoot whilst they're in combat. But bolt rifles in turn 2, if the tactical doctrine's active, of course, then you've got bolters with -2 while your Death Company is still charging up the field. I think it's one or the other. I think it's quite close to call, but I would rather the Death Company simply because Lamartes can buff them and you've got stratagems that can buff them as well. We've got all the war scrolls for all the new stuff which isn't in the Codex, so the Executioner, all of the Phobos stuff. The Sanguinary Priest is there as well, with his updated war scroll. His Narthseum is the same as the Apothecary, but he gives Blood Chalice +1 to strength, and he specifically can take a jump pack, which means he's no longer an index entry for people worrying about him going away. He's not going anywhere, he's still there and still viable. Intercessors and Infiltrators, again, these are just the updated war scrolls based on the new Space Marine Codex. Incursor, Suppressor and Invictus Warsuit, Eliminator and Impulsor, all in line with the Space Marine Codex. Those were the only war scroll changes that I mentioned. However, this is the best bit. So for the Sons of Sanguinius, whilst the Assault Doctrine is active, you get an additional +1 attack on the charge, were charged or heroically intervened, in addition to Shock Assault, in addition to Black Rage. That's good. That's very, very good. So if your Death Company Intercessors charge on turn 3, they've got 5 attacks each base. Yeah, they're only -1 AP, but, you know, there you go. Again, there's ways to buff that, which we'll cover shortly. However, the Red Thirst has been expanded upon. Not only do we now get +1 to wound in the combat phase, we get +1 to run and charge. That's massive. +1 to charge is so good, because the amount of things that you're deep striking, for example, your Death Company with jump packs, 9 inches, re-rolling your charge because of Lamartes. You've got the Angel's Wing, which gives you a re-roll charge if you've upon the Wings of Fire to get across the table. You've then got stuff deep striking in with a 3d6 charge and only needing an 8 instead of a 9. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, the +1 to advance isn't necessarily as good as the +1 to charge. It's a lot more situational, but it's still there. And it's still a nice little buff. That's the main thing. Obviously, chaplains get access to litanies, and successor chapters have warlord traits and everything. We've got the standard Vanguard warlord traits. There's no changes there at all. The stratagems, the meat and bones, of course, of the Blood Angel Force. And not only are all of the stratagems that we previously had still accessible, there's even more here. And the problem that I find with that is you don't have enough CP. Blood Angels are CP hungry anyway, but with all of these new ones, you want even more. And it's going to be difficult to get a double battalion in less than 1750. with all the characters and stuff that you need. So a lot of them are copy and paste from the Space Marine book, but there's a lot of special Blood Angel ones. So Duty Eternal and Hunter Slayer missiles, Veteran Intercessors, Masterful Marksmanship has returned, so Stern Guard get +1 to wound. Fury of the First is a new one, because I think there was one in the Blood Angel book that let you Terminators reroll hits. This gives you +1 to hit, and it's per phase. Rapid Fire, Death Company Intercessors or Blood Angel Intercessors basically have Rapid Fire too. That's not bad on a big squad, but I would be very reluctant to use it on a smaller squad. You've got Big Guns Never Tire still, or now rather. Visage of the Damned though. Use this stratagem in your fight phase and select a Blood Angel unit from your army that has the Death Mask ability. Until the end of the phase, when resolving an attack against that unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Your Sanguinary Guard are going to live a lot longer with that. -1 might not be much, but you know, it's pretty good. You've got Hero of the Chapter. Select a Blood Angel character to take another Warlord trait. Cool. Transhuman Physiology. It could help depending on who you're going up against. Again, typical Space Marine one. You've got Vengeance and Machine Spirit. And you've got Steady Advance. Use this stratagem in the shooting phase when a Blood Angel infantry unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. Until the end of the phase, for the purposes of Bolt or Discipline, they're treated as having remained stationary. It's not bad. Honoured of Baal lets a successive chapter take an actual Blood Angel relic. Hammer of Wrath, mortal wounds on the charge on a 5+. Very much the same as the Space Marine one. These two though. Refusal to Die. Use this stratagem in any phase. After a Death Company unit from your army is chosen as the target of an attack. Until the end of that phase, when that model would lose a wound, roll a dice, and on a 5+, the wound is not lost. You could only use this stratagem once per turn. So you can't use it if your Death Company is shot at. You can't use it then, and then again in the combat phase. But obviously you can use it in, you know, your opponent's shooting phase, then in your combat phase, like the following turn. It's a little bit frustrating that it's only once per turn, but it's Death Company unit. You can also use that on a Dreadnought. So yeah, Death on the Wind, Sanguinary Guard in the fight phase. Treat any damage rolls of a 1 as a 2. That's good. All of the damages is D3, but if you've got a large squad, you would still roll the dice, and if you got a 1, it would count as a 2. So I think that's pretty good. Obviously, if you're going against 2 wound stuff, it's phenomenal. So you don't have to roll. If you're going against 3 wound stuff, it certainly helps mitigate that, because, you know, if you don't roll a 3, then you know 2 of your wounds that have gone through have at least killed him. So pretty good indeed. I like that one a lot, and all these are very, very cheap at only 1 CP. You've got Target Sighted, which lets a squad of intercessors basically snipe. If you remember the Imperial Fist game that I played, Belisarius Call got sniped. Lovely. Unbridled Armour, or Ardois? I don't know how to pronounce that. Let a unit heroically intervene, and when you do, move 6. That's fantastic. Like, that is so good. If you've got a big squad nearby, or you've got your Death Company like within 6 inches of somebody that's, you know, I suppose even within an inch, and people don't expect you to heroically intervene with a squad, you can just go 1 CP, bang, there's 15 there, Death Company straight heroically intervening. Very, very good for 1 CP. Adaptive strategy, same as the Space Marine one, to allow you to turn back the doctrines. You've got Bolt Storm, same as the Space Marine one, and I like this one, Explosive Judgment, 1 CP. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase and select a Sanguinary Guard unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, when resolving an attack made with an Angelus bolt gun by a model in that unit, you can re-roll the wound rolls, and the target doesn't receive the benefit of cover. You do that on turn 2, you've got -2 on your Angelus bolt guns, just re-rolling all wounds for 1 CP. That's really good. You've got Gene Wrought Might. Select the Blood Angels Primaris infantry unit, and in the fight phase, any 6s that you roll automatically wounds. Unmodified 6s, so very, very good. And you've got Chalice Overflowing, which allows you to have a Sanguinary Priest try and heal 2 units. So similar to the Space Marine update on that as well. So very, very good stuff in there. The Litanies of Battle, I'm not going to go over these 6 because they're the same as the Space Marine ones, but I will just point out a couple. So you can add 1 to the wound roll with this one. Any unmodified hit rolls of a 6 generate an extra attack. That combined with Gene Wrought Might or even Lamates to get reroll hits is very cool. +1 strength, you're probably not going to take that. Canticles of Hate, add 2 to the charge rolls of units whilst within 6 of the model. Combine that with your +1, and if you, for example, chant that with Lamates, you can Upon the Wings of Fire him in your movement phase, and at the end of the movement phase, bring your Sanguinary Guard or your Death Company down within 6 of him, and then you've got your essentially 6-inch charge to make, which is very, very good. You've got to think about it ahead though, because obviously these are at the start of the battle round. My favourite one though, Invocation of Destruction, the Blood Angel one. Any unmodified wound rolls of a 6 have an AP of -4. That becomes -5 in the assault when the assault doctrine is active. And of course, who doesn't love like 6, 7, 8 attacks from Death Company with chainswords doing -5 AP on a 6 to wound? Yep, that is absolutely fantastic. I really, really love some of the stuff that's in this book. The theme is very, very much pushing Death Company, Sanguinary Guard and Primaris Infantry, and I really, really like it. For the relics, there's a couple that stand out. The Biomantic Sarcophagus is fantastic. You can re-roll one of the dice when you're taking a Psychic or Deny test, and you add 6 inches to the range. Brilliant. Makes him a better Psyker than Mephiston. The Gleaming Pinions is okay. Add 1 to his charge roll and you can retreat and still charge back in as well. And Wrath of Baal is a Sanguinary Ancient. Add 2 to the movement of Blood Angel jump pack units whilst they're within 6 of this model. Brilliant. Really, really good. You've got all the standard special issue war gear, so you could go Mastercrafted Weapon and Artisan of War on a Librarian Dreadnought for a 5 damage Force Halberd. That's nuts. I also love this. 2 Storm Ravens gunning down like, what's our Hive Crone or Harpy. It's brilliant. I love it. Flesh Tearer's got a little bit of an update as well. A couple of stratagems there. 3 Warlord traits. And a pair of relics as well, which is very nice to see that they've at least got something, much like the Crimson Fists did. Point values, I'm not going to go over all of them, but Dreadnoughts dropped across the board, so your Death Company Dreadnought dropped by 10. Death Company at 18 points each now, with jump packs. Death Company Intercessors at 18 points each. Sanguinary Guard are 20 points base. The Angelus Bolt Gun is free. Swords are 8 and axes are 9. That's 28 or 29 points for a base Sanguinary Guard, which is, honestly, considering we were paying nearly 40 points a model, that is fantastic. Characters that changed, Mephiston went down to 145, Dante went down to 150, I probably still won't use him unfortunately. The Sanguinaut is down to 130 as well. Mini Marines, of course, dropped to 12 points in line with the Space Marine and Codex as well. Baal Predators didn't change. There's still not a single reason to take them, unfortunately. All of the weapons got changed, so we've now got 40-point Thunderhammers for characters as well. But nevertheless, guys, there is a lot of very cool stuff in there for the Blood Angels, and I think we're going to see quite a lot. From me, you're going to see a lot more Blood Angels on the channel. Stephen is equally excited about them, so even when he's round, you're probably going to get Blood Angels from him. So be prepared, guys. Blood Angels are back with a bang, and as soon as I can get my hands on this Mephiston model, which Will Galloway has very kindly purchased for me. Will, thank you very much indeed. I cannot wait to paint him up and get him on the table for you guys. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please check out the rest of the channel. Be very patient, because Blood Angels are coming back, and they are coming back very, very strong very soon.